All right, everybody. Thank you for joining. I do want to give just a couple minutes for anyone running late to join before I kick things off. So, if we could all just chime in the chat with your role, where you're located, and let's add like an icebreaker. I would love to know what have you personally found best to work at getting stakeholders to listen to your findings and act upon them. So yeah, so shout out that info in the chat. It'd be great to hear where everybody's calling in from. And I would never ask you to do anything I wouldn't do myself. So let me introduce myself. My name is Zach Hans, and I run the product marketing team here at Dscout. I'm in Denver, Colorado. So after having to be on stage in front of all these people, I'll probably run and hide in the mountains for a bit this weekend. But yeah, marketers actually have to do a lot of research themselves, and so when I'm making a case, I really just try to bring whatever hard metrics I can to sort of shock them into action, and possibly a quote and a face or video to make it a bit more real for them versus just coming from me. But honestly, working at Dscout has made me get even better about doing that. Let's see, St. Paul, Minnesota, Kansas, Atlanta, San Francisco, Evanston. This is a good spread. London, there we go. Okay. Um, I guess that's enough one-sided small talk. So hopefully our stragglers have all made their way in, and so we can kick this thing off. So let me welcome you to Dscout's Winter 2025 product update. I'm still very much getting used to saying and typing 2025, and honestly, really ready to move out of winter into spring at this point. But we don't slow down over the holiday break here, so I've actually got a lot of exciting stuff to cover. Last time I saw at least some of you was back in November at the product keynote for our virtual collab conference, and maybe I can get someone from the team to share a link to that in the chat if you missed it, because that's definitely worth catching up on as well. Um, but real quick before all the feature fun. A couple housekeeping items just to share. So I started us off using the chat. Please don't hesitate to keep that going. If you're excited about something or have additional ideas, we absolutely want to hear that. We save this chat, and I promise you, people comb through it for feedback and follow-ups. But when it comes to questions, rather than the chat, I would encourage you to use the Q&A function. That just helps us stay a bit more organized and more accountable. And we'll have team members in there answering questions as we go. We do try to save some time at the end to cover a few, but if we don't get to your question, just know that we should be able to follow up after the webinar if necessary because of that. And then we, of course, are recording this. So if you want all your friends and family to watch it too, I mean, why wouldn't you? You'll have that recording sent out to you soon after so that you can tell your boss about all the great new stuff you need to try out in Dscout. Okay, logistical bits done. Let's talk product. So we're going to cover three key areas today. We'll recap the last few months of releases since we last spoke in November. I'll invite an expert colleague who knows way more than I do to join us for a feature spotlight. And after that, we'll talk through what's coming in the next few months until we meet again in the spring. And actually, as an added bonus, I'll have another colleague joining this time to help spotlight another upcoming release that I think is exciting enough to warrant a bit more attention. So whether you're a longtime Dscout user or considering us at the moment, hopefully you'll get a good sense of our pace of innovation and what you can expect from the team and the platform. Sound good? Okay, so since I just mentioned our pace of innovation, I want to just quickly throw this slide up here just to highlight what all this product work really translates to for you, and why you can trust in where we're headed. So starting on the left here, from publicly available release notes and such, we saw that Dscout actually pushed out 2 to 3 times more updates than other leaders in the space in 2024. And then if you comb through the user review sites like G2, we are actually incredibly proud of being top rated in product direction, business partnership, and support quality by our customers. Because like you can see in the Forrester quote here on the top right, all this innovation that we're sharing today is truly customer led. Excuse me. We're not building this thing in a vacuum. Your feedback and requests are just so critical in helping us shape the future of this industry together. So please keep that coming. We want to hear your input and know what's going to help you. Now, I cover this one briefly every time, just in case anyone needs a refresher. This right here is essentially the Dscout platform. It's how we talk about the various parts of the research process that Dscout is designed to support. So whether you're conducting interviews, testing concepts, sending out surveys, or running diary studies, it's generally always going to go through this process. And our updates today will all be centered on making each of these phases of that research lifecycle even easier for you. So when our team got together to plan our 2025 roadmap, we first focused on why we're building what we're building, what areas or outcomes we're really focused on, and this is really our guiding light throughout the year. Yeah, so one of the things that I was saying was starting with user experience here. I've actually heard a lot of customers mention say disappointment at some companies maybe over-indexing on AI tools when their own UX needs fixing. And so one big area for us is our commitment to those quality of life updates in Dscout. The stuff that makes it both easy and fun to use, inspires confidence among even the most novice researchers, and the stuff that really like checks the boxes that you need checked when deciding on a provider. Next here is participant access, which is of course a massive focus for us, and really always will be. But this is all about, how we help you fill studies more quickly, but without ever sacrificing quality in your results. And lastly, I know I mentioned UX being important, but we've still got to throw in some bells and whistles and keep things exciting, right? So we also have a whole emerging products team focused on innovation and how we really drive the market forward and redefine what research can be. So you'll see some updates in that area as well. Okay, so with all the intro and setup stuff out of the way, let's look back at what we've released in the past couple months. And my hope is that by now some of you here have already noticed and even used some of these new capabilities. So if so, please call that out in the chat. Again, we would seriously love to hear it. But I'll start with participant access. First, we have our private panels integration. So private panels is an add-on product that lets you easily manage recurring research on a panel of your own users. And I'm excited to share that just in the past few weeks, we have drastically improved the connection between the two products. And so now users of that private panels add-on can easily access their panels through the Dscout platform without the need for, an extra login. Just a much smoother overall experience. And if you're unfamiliar with private panels, please raise a hand and let us know. We have folks on the team who would love to talk you through it. And I'll actually be talking a bit more about this one in our What's Next section because we've got some more exciting work that's very close and just about ready for release. We also added the ability to relaunch your closed screeners. So we had actually already added this option to relaunch studies in our Express tool for those surveys and usability studies. And this works pretty much the same way. So if you just need some more responses or candidates, this is a perfect solution. For how it works, you'll need to relaunch within 2 weeks of when the screener closed, and then if you end up, say, increasing your participant limit, just a note that you'll potentially need to update your quotas as well. And on that note about quotas, we also made some small but significant improvements on that front too. So now you can specify conditions like at least, at most, and equal to, which really just adds a lot more flexibility to it. You can also apply quotas to multi-select questions, and we no longer require matching totals. So if you haven't experimented with quotas, I highly recommend you test that out. You'll also see kind of a new look and feel to the UI of our recruiting process. So We recently updated the tab naming and structure to just help simplify navigation and make it easier for you to find your knockout questions and targeting attributes when you're building your screener. Um, and I'm gonna struggle right now to remember who sang this song, Save the Best for Last. But that's really what optional review is here. It's Vanessa Williams. I think it's Vanessa Williams. Yeah, I'm right. I see it in the chat. Anyway, this just came out last week, and honestly, people are pumped, and rightfully so. I don't know if she's on this call, but I saw an email from a customer, and this is a direct quote. We're beyond thrilled to hear this. Best Wednesday ever. And that just makes everybody here so happy to hear that sort of stuff. So previously, all screeners run through Dscout required review by one of our research advisors before launching. And some people love that checkpoint because our experts can really help ensure the quality of questions and make sure you get what you're looking for in the responses. But sometimes you've just got to move faster. And we get that. And we want to let you do that when you're confident in the screener you've built. Um, and just to address that little asterisk there, a footnote, there are a couple exceptions to optional review just based on more specific recruits. So your account manager is always able to help talk you through that. Okay, so jumping ahead into our innovation pillar, um, last summer we released our new AI analysis option where Dscout will automatically generate summaries and key themes for your open-ended questions and your live interviews. And now you have even greater control to just customize or edit what our AI provides to sort of validate or make it work for your analysis needs. So now you can edit theme titles or completely remove them from the list. So we've sort of built our AI analysis as being like that great jumping off point for your insights. And this, seemingly small update lets you change that to make it a more trusted output for your team. And then adding even more to our AI analysis solution was the very recent addition of AI task summaries. So now, beyond just open-ended questions and live interviews, when you're running a usability test, our AI can be applied to every individual task question to help summarize the results. And as I mentioned with our private panels option, if AI is something you haven't used with Dscout, our team would love to talk through your options with you. And then moving on to our user experience updates, there's a lot of exciting stuff to run through here. First and foremost is a reminder of our new video upload option. With some teams going back to true field work or in-person research, or others just preferring to, hop on a quick Zoom call versus scheduling through Dscout, those teams still want to be able to analyze all the data and generate compelling share outs. And now they can. So right within our interview tool, you have the option to upload video interviews for that deeper analysis and stitch together the most powerful clips into a highlight reel for your stakeholders. Um, Next, our mobile usability solution saw some serious improvements earlier this year. First, in-app views now let the user open a prototype or link directly within the app, and you can see where they tap, swipe, and click on the recorded video that you get. But we also added continuous recording, allowing you to capture up to 40 minutes to really get the full context of your users' interactions. We also recently added the option for captions or subtitles on videos in our playlist builder. So accessibility is obviously a big deal to a lot of us here on this call. And so we're really excited to extend that to when you're creating share outs for stakeholders across the company now too. And in the latest browser support news, we have also extended Dscout support to Microsoft Edge, and that's for both the researcher side as well as the participant experience. Some organizations require use of Edge, so now whether you're using Chrome or Edge, we offer full support and compatibility. Um, Now, I mentioned at the start of this presentation that we rely really heavily on customer feedback to help us prioritize our roadmap. we like to work alongside our customers, and this next update is very much in service of that. So we have now made it even easier within the Dscout platform to directly get the support you need or provide feedback versus having to funnel it through our support teams. I've said it a bunch. We want to hear from you, and we're making it even easier for you to raise a hand. And next, with self-service SSO, admins and account owners can now configure it directly within your account settings versus needing engineering support, which is obviously a pretty big deal. And again, with my save the best for last approach, we also recently released question banks, where teams can customize a list of pre-approved questions for users to pull from when setting up a study, to speed up the process and maintain quality control. I won't go too deep on this because I'm actually going to invite Elizabeth from our product team who spearheaded this work to walk you through it. But the one thing I want to add is just some exciting early feedback we've gotten from customers on this one. Nearly 70% of users rated our question banks a 5 out of 5. So this is already proving incredibly helpful, and we'll be continuing to refine and improve upon it. But with that, let's move into our product spotlight and have Elizabeth show you around our question banks.
Thanks, Zach. Hi, everyone. Nice to see some familiar names in the chat. Hey, Angela. Hey, Abby. I'm Elizabeth. If I haven't met you yet, I'm a product manager at Dscout. And as Zach mentioned, we built question banks to help you accelerate the research setup process by putting your favorite, most used questions all in one convenient place. So this feature right now is in open beta, which means you can expect some enhancements coming very soon. But I recorded a demo earlier, so let's play that so you can see all the bells and whistles. I'm going to show you question banks, which we built to help teams store and access their go-to questions in one place for easy reuse. Right now, I'm inside of an Express mission, but you can also find this within screeners. So from our question menu, you have the option to add from bank. Here's our bank. You're able to filter by who created it, questions that you may have favorited, or both. You can also use search to pull up questions that contain the keyword either in the prompt or in the answer choices. We're starting you out with a few sample questions. So let's pull one in. And you can take that sample question and update it to fit your mission. And if you like that copy, you can go ahead and save it back to your bank. You have the option to save to the account, or if you're using workspaces, you can save to one or more workspace. So now it's saved to my bank. And we'll only show you questions that you can use in this section of the mission. So let's go over to the Create tab where you'll see more question types. So from the bank here, you have some more options in what you can add. For example, we have this card sort question, which you could save to the bank. For example, if you wanted to add a scale question, I can save that as well. And you can find that question here in your bank. Question banks allows you to bank questions and easily access them in any new project, helping you focus more on insights and less on setup.
Okay. Elizabeth, huge thank you to you for jumping on and for that deep dive and just taking the time for that. I really don't think that we can overstate the significance of that update to just help teams, like I said, speed up the process and control the quality of work as more novice researchers or non-researchers get involved. It's really a big deal. And if you're interested in setting it up or getting access, again, raise your hand or reach out to your account manager because they'd be happy to help. So that covers what's already available or newly available in Dscout. But I can't look back without looking ahead a little bit and giving you a sneak peek at the not too distant future of the platform. So let's stick with the user experience updates first. So coming soon, first and probably foremost, is the ability to edit your study post-launch. So in the coming months, users will be able to edit study details, screening criteria, and questions after the fact to help capture better data, address any issues that come up, and just avoid rework. This adds a ton of flexibility to Dscout that customers have wanted, and it's huge in terms of things like helping you account for late stage feedback from collaborators, being able to pivot if you aren't getting the responses that you need, and more. We'll also see some updates to how our scale question functions to give you more flexibility and control over how it's displayed, as well as using skip logic with it. And then piggybacking off of what Elizabeth just took us through, we've got a fast follow update coming soon for more advanced management of your question bank to better organize and control how questions are used. So this means things like question editing, more filtering, and advanced permission settings to make it easier to update the questions in your bank, like as your standards evolve. And then we have even more mobile usability updates coming soon. So soon you'll have the ability to record both the front or back camera and the user's screen simultaneously as participants go through an app experience. So this just better mirrors our web experience and lets you see facial expressions and reactions or their surroundings as people go through your study. And then last but not least is a new privacy blur option coming to our usability testing tool. So with continuous recording, you always run the risk of capturing these moments when users are at registration, login, checkout, or in their settings. These moments when PII or personally identifiable information might be displayed. We've always had a way around that by choosing to record only the task itself. But now, in order to make continuous recording work even better for you, we're going to be releasing this option to toggle on blurring for specific questions throughout your study to follow privacy and compliance standards. I know this is a big deal to quite a few of you out there, so very excited about that one. As for what's coming on the participant recruitment and sourcing front, I'll start with some more about the continued unification of our private panels product into the Dscout platform. So this work will be happening in phases, but the first big update coming is that you'll be able to recruit from your private panels right within your Dscout Express studies. So where before you had to log into private panels separately to recruit into Dscout, now when you're running a media survey or a usability test, you'll have immediate access right there to source from your panels. So just a much smoother workflow. And then next, we're going to be significantly expanding your ability to reach more markets and more niche audiences through Dscout via our partner relationships. So you've already got our proprietary panel of scouts, which is the highest quality and most engaged on the market. But then when you have more targeted, hard to reach, hyper specific audience needs, that's where our partner panel will come in. We have a team building these relationships and building deeper integration within Dscout, and we're crazy excited to make this available soon. For more information or if you have more pressing needs in this area, by all means, please reach out to your account manager or our research advisors to learn more. They're prepped and ready to help out. And lastly, let's take a look at what's coming from the innovation side. And this is some of the stuff that I'm probably most excited to share. It's why I save it for last. Um, so today, these are going to be focused on additions to our AI analysis suite that I talked about earlier. But there is also some additional AI work in the pipeline I'll be able to share more about at our spring webinar. So this is my shameless plug to make sure that you come back for that one in the spring. But first and foremost, our AI research assistant will help you save even more time on analysis by essentially having a dialogue with your data. It'll work like a chat designed to help you answer or ask questions about your study and get immediate, detailed responses without needing to comb through piles and piles of data. So think about things like summarizing key findings, uncovering recurring trends, or requesting quotes about a specific topic. It's all going to be there at your fingertips. Um, and then for our new AI Notable Moments feature, um, I'd like to think that I'd do an okay job at explaining it, but I'd rather bring out the big guns and have one of the people who's actually building it take you through it a bit more deeply. So I'm going to hand it off here to a longtime Dscout alum who has really helped build this platform and company into what it is today, our VP of Emerging Products, Jonathan Fairman.
Hello, everyone. Zach, that's a lot of introduction for just a normal person here. But I'm Jonathan. It's a treat to be here. I am, as Zach mentioned, a longtime D-Scouter and really value the work that you all do with our product. So I'm really thrilled to talk about sort of the next evolution of our AI analysis offering, which is Task Notable Moments. And this is coming in the latter half of March, just another sprint to go. And as a complement to the AI summaries and themes we have today, notable moments are automatically uncovered highlights that help you quickly jump to the moments that matter most. And we're starting with our task question type. It's really the keystone of evaluative testing at Dscout, but expect these to kind of permeate and come out over time across all of our question types. And sometimes it's kind of like, you want to know, like, wait, how does the product team decide where to start? And I think what's so important about task questions and why we started there is that they are incredibly content dense, right? Every minute is packed with multiple behaviors on screen, facial expressions, and all of those interactions of the person, transcripts, click data, just so much content, minute for minute. I'm not sure there's much more dense content out there. And task notable moments really help you rapidly identify those moments of interest and help you break that trade-off that often can happen between speed and quality when you're in the analysis phase. So I do want to get into a few details here, because in the world of AI features, the UI is of course important, but getting into the details of the content that's generated by that pipeline, by the AI, is really at the heart of the value. So a little bit more about notable moments. So we have a pipeline that identifies and highlights moments like ease of use, pardon me. This would be both positive and negative. User preferences based on kind of what they're saying and doing, and errors and issues, right? Exactly the kind of content and moments that you care about most in evaluative research. And we can see here on screen are some examples and their associated transcript that kind of formed it. So you can see here in the middle, right, the user is unsure about additional steps needed and expresses
I'm going to show you question banks,
difficulty in
which we
making
built to help
progress.
teams store and access their go-to questions in
I
one
think I
place
hear
for easy
Elizabeth's
use.
delightful voice.
Right now, I'm inside of an Express mission, but you can also find this within screeners. So from our question menu, you have the option. I'm going to show you question banks, which we built to help teams
get to that. Delight, and I'm back. Thank you, Zach. So that point up here, just 30 seconds back, the content in AI features matters. And in this middle example, you can see like this is somebody who's struggling, but there's a connection to that direct quote, the source. And what's so important there is that connection to the transcript is core to one of our principles here at Dscout as we build AI features, and that's transparency, right? Whether it's you, a member of your team, whoever is doing that research, if you're using an AI feature, you need to be in control and you need to understand what is behind every kind of derived jumping off point that's presented to you so you can trust it. So along those lines, I'm going to jump to my last slide here with a little bit of energy to kind of just say, you can take a notable moment, jump to the exact spot in the transcript, grab that quote, make a video clip, use the playlist editor to quickly share any array of these moments. It's the trackable thing. You can see who watched those playlists, and all that is available right within the platform and really can happen in just a matter of clicks. So this idea of rapidly culling hours of content to the most important moments and sharing them is just, it's really effortless. And for me, these are the best kinds of features as a product person, like that really, really rev me up because it's an easy to use feature that packs a lot of punch. It's happening automatically for you. They're made so readily available. So really excited to release this in the second half of March. Like AI summaries and themes, notable moments are part of our AI analysis toolkit. So for those of you with access, get excited, get ready. We're eager to have your feedback. You'll see this in the product in a few weeks. For those without, as Zach had mentioned earlier, amongst all of this content, I really encourage you to reach out to our customer success teams, to our sales teams. The partnership and the information that they have and want to share is really top notch. And with that, Zach, I'll pass it back to you for the Q&A.
Thanks, Jonathan. Really do appreciate you taking the time. And I I just want to say I was right. You absolutely covered that better than I would have been able to. So okay, folks, that's really everything we've got for you today. Question banks to save time creating studies and quality control your research program, access to a broader audience of participants, faster time to launch with optional review, which of course means faster time to insights, AI task summaries for streamlined analysis, our new video upload option to help with migration from a previous provider or just run research, however you need without losing analysis and share out capabilities. And that's just what's already available now. So again, I'll look forward to seeing you in a few months for the spring webinar I mentioned to go deeper on all this stuff we teased as it gets released and give you that sneak peek of what the rest of the year will look like. Um, Now let me just take a second to check the time in the chat and see if we can fit in some questions. It looks like the team has already been pretty active throughout this time. And again, just a reminder that if we don't get to your question, we plan to send them all over to our customer-facing teams to follow up accordingly. But let me pull a couple of these. It looks like we had a question on video upload limits and if that was limited to 10 minutes, but I want to say that that's not actually accurate. I appreciate Metz covering that for us. Yeah, video upload is not limited to 10 minutes. You can upload files up to 4 GB. The average size of a 1 hour Zoom recording is about 2.5 GB, just for some reference there. Um, and then I see a question here. Are you only able to save to banks from a screener or mission? And right now we have the answer to that it's screeners or express usability studies right now. Let's see. There's a question on the continuous recording limits and if the 40-minute limit is just for usability testing. And so, yeah, the 40-minute continuous recording limit applies to mobile usability tests. There's no limit for desktop usability tests. And then let's see. I saw a question here about video upload. If you can do all the same analysis that you can in our live product. The answer is yes. Tagging, quote highlights, etc., will all work the same way. One caveat there is that for now, AI analysis doesn't do summaries on those uploaded videos, how it does for interviews run through our live tool. And then optional review, is it truly optional? Can I still get a review if I still want the help? Absolutely. I might not have explicitly said it when we covered it, but I think the image on that slide showed how within the platform, as you go through the process, you'll have the option to choose to skip review or not. And then I see something here about that feedback option in Dscout that I mentioned. I think this is a good question. Is there a difference in what I should submit there versus to my Dscout contact? Honestly, there's no hard and fast rule there. The feedback option is a bit more focused on product functionality, but it generally just gives us better traceability and gives you easier access, you know. But I would encourage you to still consider doing both because your account managers and research advisors want to know what's important to you too. And they really help surface things to our team as well. So we don't want to lose that. Just taking a look. I see some questions in the chat too, but it looks like my team is getting to those. I see people typing on a lot of these, so the answers are coming. Um, oh, and I see there was a question on the types of questions you can bank. So the only thing you currently can't add to the bank is question groups. But multi-select, task, open-end, all the rest of that you very much can. And we'll keep you posted if and when anything changes with question groups. Yeah, you know what? We're close to 12:40 my time, so I think we'll call it there. If we didn't get to your question, like I said, we will definitely be combing through these and come back to that. We've got all the information so that the team can follow up. Um, but a huge thank you to everyone for joining and for sticking around. If you're still here at this point, if you want to learn more about any of these updates or talk about how you can access certain things, or just have more questions about how Dscout can help in your work, again, please reach out to the team. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the spring.